Braised red cabbage with fennel, German style. And obviously we start with red cabbage, of course. You're going to start by peeling off the outer leaves, of course, because they tend to be dry and they just don't produce a very nice product in the end. Red cabbage is a superfood full of phytonutrients and fiber, and this is a delicious way to include it in your diet. I'm using only a half a head of cabbage for this recipe. It still makes quite a lot. And I always like to quarter or eighth my cabbage head to remove the core afterwards. It's so much simpler and safer. When slicing or dicing vegetables, always remember to keep your knuckles forward and your fingertips back. We call this the monster grip, and it will save you a trip to the emergency room. Remember, safety first always. You'll get faster with practice. Fennel, I think, also is an underused and underappreciated vegetable. I've tried to include it in many recipes, particularly those with poultry and fish. It goes well with pork or pork chops too. Again, I'm using the same method for removing the core from the fennel as I did with the cabbage. The green, mossy-like fronds that you cut off the top of the fennel bulb can be kept and used as a garnish on whatever dish you're using the fennel in if you'd like. Now for extra flavor, we're going to take some fennel seeds and we're going to toast them lightly in a dry pan, and then after that we will pulverize them with a mortar and pestle. Toast them till they're golden brown and fragrant. Alternately, if you do not have a mortar and pestle to grind the seeds up with, you can crush them beneath a heavy bottom pan against the top of your cutting board. It will work just fine. I'm going to start by taking a cast iron coquette that's lined with enamel and sweat off the fennel first. This will begin by allowing the fennel to release its flavors through the high heat of the saute method. We're going to season with a little bit of salt and pepper to start with. We always season as we go, and then we correct the seasoning in the end. Also going to add a little pinch of red pepper flake, and then we're going to pour in some vegetable stock or chicken stock, or you could just use water if you wanted to. I'm adding a tablespoon of xylitol, or you could use some other carb-friendly sweetener, and a couple tablespoons of your favorite vinegar. In this case, I'm using red wine vinegar for that sweet sour taste that's so common with German red cabbage. Now the cabbage goes in, and we're going to stir to incorporate, adding a little more salt and a little more pepper at this time, and then we're going to add a little bit more vegetable stock so it's just below the level of the cabbage once it's spread out in the pan. We're going to cover and braise the cabbage and fennel over medium to medium and low heat for about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally in between. After braising for 20 minutes, we're going to uncover the cabbage and continue to cook it, stirring occasionally until the cabbage is tender to your liking and some of the liquid has evaporated off. We're also at this time going to add in our toasted and crushed fennel seed. And again, we season as we go. I've been tasting this dish throughout, even though I haven't shown every time I've tasted it. But it's important to taste and to season as you go, and then you get at the very end, you do the final tasting and the final seasoning. In this case, I decided I needed just a little bit more sweetness, so I added some more xylitol, and then I'll add some more pepper and salt as needed. So when the cabbage is tender to your liking, take a slotted spoon and remove it to a serving vessel or a other container. And then what you will do, you'll want to reduce any liquids that are left in the pan or pot and pour over the top of the cabbage. This concentrates and intensifies the flavor of the pot liquor, and it also ensures that the final product will not be too watery. So I'm going to finish this by garnishing with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper and then the reserved fennel fronds that I cut off the fennel bulb earlier. Okay, there you have it. Low carb braised red cabbage and fennel, German style. A lovely side dish for many recipes. We're going to be using it with a German classic beef rouladen. So look for that recipe and this recipe and other recipes and videos at cheftylermaking.com. Thank you.